Hi everybody, this is Amanda Ridout, health coach. We are back with our favorite pharmacist, Ben Fuchs, cosmetic chemist, nutritionist, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about the truth. Ben, take it away.
Hey, Amanda.
Hey.
I noticed that when people make a buying decision on whether they're going to buy a skincare product or make a skincare purchase or not, that they do something really interesting. All people do the same thing. They rub the product on and they see how it feels.
Yeah.
And as a chemist, as a formulator, I have to laugh because whipped cream will feel good if you put it on your skin. Butter will feel good if you put it on your skin.
You'll smell though.
You might smell like butter, but the point is that just because you rub something on your skin and it creates a sensation on your skin doesn't mean you've created any changes in the tissue. And to me as a formulator, when I think of when my clients are applying a product or when I'm formulating a product is how can my clients really change the quality of their skin? Yeah. So much so that even when they're not using the product, the skin still remains moist or soft or anti-age or whatever it is you're looking for. That quality remains on the skin even if you're not using the product.
Right.
That's how you know you've created a real change in the tissue. And to me, that is the ideal result that you want to get from a skincare product. Permanent or at least semi-permanent, long-lasting changes that aren't dependent on you applying the product. You don't want to feel the product when you after you're using a product. You want to feel your skin. So that when you rub your skin and feel like you're moisturized, you want it to be the skin that's moisturized, not the product that you're feeling. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these kind of results take time. They don't happen instantly. So a quality skincare product will not only give you an immediate sensation that's pleasant, you obviously want it to feel good when you put it on, but even more importantly, they will give you a benefit that accrues over time, that gets better over time, that gets more pronounced over time, and that allows you to skip days on the product once you've achieved those changes without you losing the benefits, without you losing the changes that you put on the skin. And the only way to do that is by putting ingredients on your skin that your skin can actually assimilate, that your skin can actually use. And when I say skin, I don't mean skin necessarily, I mean skin cells. And this is the key. It's about the cell. And we talked about cancer earlier, same idea. It's about the cell. When you're sick, it's about the cell. When you want to get healthy, it's about the cell. When you want your skin to be beautiful, it's about the cell. Now, this creates somewhat of a problem. It actually creates two problems. Number one, the cell is not stupid. It's not going to take just anything. In fact, it eats from a very limited menu. In fact, topically, there's only a couple things that will get into a cell: vitamin A and vitamin C. Those are the only two things that will really migrate into a cell, and that's why the Truth products feature vitamin A and vitamin C. Those are the only two things that we know of that you could put topically that will migrate their way down to a skin cell, at which point the skin cell will actually take those vitamins in and make them part of the cell itself, using those nutrients, the vitamin A and vitamin C, to create more collagen, to create more moisture factors, and to create more skin cells themselves. So the first issue we have if we're going to actually create permanent changes on the skin is the ingredients we put on the skin have to somehow be able to access the cell to the point where the cell can assimilate them and use them.
Right.
The second issue we have is it takes a certain amount of time for that to happen. So you put your product on, it takes maybe days or a couple of days or maybe a week or maybe even 2 weeks for that ingredient to migrate down into the cell area to where the cell can accumulate it and use it. So in this world of instant results, if you really want to have beautiful skin via topical skincare, you have to wait a couple of days. And that's the key to understanding how well your skincare product is working, and that's the key to understanding or to making a good buying decision on a skincare product. Not what does my skin feel like when I put the product on, but what does my skin look like after a week, or after 2 weeks, or after a fixed amount of time. If you have a quality skincare product, your skin will look noticeably different as time progresses and as you use the product more and more. The results will build up over time. And so there's a certain amount of fixed time that it takes for you to notice the results of a skincare product. Now, when you're making a buying decision, you don't have 2 weeks to wait.
Right.
You don't have a week. You're at the department store, you're at the salon, wherever. So you're looking at the product. you don't have 2 weeks to wait. That's the best way to tell how good your skincare product is over the course of time, but you don't have time. So what do? Well, we know rubbing it on and seeing how it feels, that's not going to be an effective way, even though that's what most of us do. Even worse is smelling it. That's even worse. Making a buying decision on how it smells or thinking it works because it smells
smells good.
Yeah, because it smells good. So you don't have a lot of time. The best way is it's going to take time, but you don't have a lot of time when you're making a decision. The silliest way is to rub it on and see how you feel. What can you do? How do you make a buying decision? Well, there's a middle ground. There's a compromise. It's not as good as giving it some time. That's ideally the way to tell. It's not as silly as just rubbing it on and seeing how it feels. It's kind of a middle ground, and that's to understand the ingredient deck. This is so important. I have friends who are bankers and lawyers and physicians and really intelligent people, women especially, and they don't read the ingredient deck. They listen to the commercial, or they listen to the marketing, or they read the pitch, the advertising promotion, and they make their buying decision based on whether they like the doctor who's selling it, or whether the guy looks official enough, or whether the advertising copy is compelling enough. If you don't want to wait 2 weeks to see, or you don't have time to wait 2 weeks to see how your product is, and if you don't want to be a victim of this idea of rub it on and see what happens, read the ingredient deck. Learn to read the ingredient deck. Most products, you'll see the first ingredient will be water. And that's because most skincare products are 80 to 90% water. After the water, you'll see things like oil and silicone and emulsifying agent. For most products, the first 5 or 6 ingredients are there to make the product. So by the time you get to the 6th ingredient, 90%, maybe even 95% of the product is built, and there's no more room for active material.
Right.
And you won't know this if you don't read the ingredient deck, or at least understand what an ingredient deck is about. So it's critical if you want to make a good buying decision and not get ripped off on your skincare products, and not have a medicine cabinet that's filled with skincare products that you bought because somebody told you they worked, or the doctor recommended it and nothing happened. You have to become savvy to ingredient decks. And just as a clue for you, look for high concentrations of the 2 most important active materials, which are vitamin A and vitamin C. And not just any vitamin A and vitamin C. You want to look for retinol, and you want to look for a fatty form of vitamin C. We talked about this in the past, ascorbyl palmitate, tetraisopalmitate. Now, those are complicated words, but what you don't want to see, what isn't going to help you any, is something called ascorbic acid, which is the typical form of vitamin C. It's the cheap form of vitamin C, and it's the one most vitamin C products will use. So if you don't have a lot of time, or you don't want to spend the time, or you don't want to take a chance on buying a product and waiting to see if the product works, and if you don't want to just do the rub it on and see what happens, or see how it feels way of making a buying decision, learn to read an ingredient deck. Look for high concentrations of active material. Look for the good stuff at the front of the ingredient deck, not at the back of the ingredient deck. That's another trick formulators will use, is they'll put all the good ingredients, the active ingredients, the medicinal or therapeutic ingredients at the bottom of the ingredient deck, because they're only in little tiny smatterings, 0.1%, 0.5%. One of the reasons I came up with the truth was to give you an opportunity to use 80% vitamin C, and 5% retinol, and not have to deal with all of the fillers and excipients, the silicone and the oil and the wax and the emulsifying agent, preservative, and the fragrance and the water. You get none of that stuff in our Truth products, and that's really the reason why I wanted you to have the Truth. That's why I developed the Truth, was so people could have access to products that just had active ingredients in it. Why would you want to spend all that money on your skincare product when you're getting wax and oil and silicone and things that aren't doing anything for your skin? So look for the ingredient, look at the ingredient deck, and look for high concentrations of active materials. And when you determine whether your product was worth the money, you want to determine it by how your skin looks over the course of time. If you have a quality skincare product, your skin will look better and better the more and more you use the product.
Well, and if you don't know where to find these kind of ingredients, don't look any further. Go to truthtreatments.com. You could enter the code Have the Truth and the number 2. You can get a 10% discount. I've been using these treatments now for several months, and all I can say is that with each day, each week, and each month, my skin just gets better and better. The aging is reversing, the lines are reversing, the dryness, the splotches. So really, don't go spending your money on other things that may or may not be what you need. So there you go.
Thank you, Amanda.
Well, you have a great day, Ben. We will be seeing you again soon.
I'll look forward
And
to it.
thank you, everybody, for watching. Bye.
Bye.